develop myself, to improve my learning and understanding of many subjects that I never knew before.
And also, as a parent, it has helped me bring up my kids, bring them up in a way where they can, in the future, become servants of the Holy Prophet.
Imam Hussein TV is a reminder of religion and Imam Hussein and how I should be a better person, even though it doesn't come naturally.
They really help me connect with Allah. They really help me connect with my religion, understand religion. Shows like Ahkam SOS, as I'm helping film, help set up. It just inspired me to learn about Islam, to encourage me to follow my deen and to spread it. I go to university, I spread that message throughout there. I try and share that message that I learn here.
The biggest blessing of my life was being able to serve and work at the same time.
So Imam Hussein TV to me is like a home away from home. Over here when I come in, even though everyone has their own opinion of Imam Hussein TV, as a staff member it's different, and for me it's like a sense of family. It's hard work, struggles, but at the same time there's a lot of creativity, there's passion.
When I received that one email from that one viewer saying, "Thank you Imam Hussein TV for providing me with live feed from Karbala. Thank you for giving me Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam in my home." That's what makes my job so precious to me.
There's a movement and a campaign for us to provide a better service for those people in the West, to have the message of the Ahlul Bayt in English, and also to bring Imam Hussein to the masses and to the world.
I have to ask myself every day, every month, Murtada, what are you going to do? What are you going to show on the channel in the following months to benefit the views of Imam Hussein alayhi salam? Myself, I may be in the UK, I may have 20, 30 odd Husseyniyat masajid to go to and learn during these occasions. But working at the channel, you need to think of those viewers who do not have any Husseyniyat, who do not have any books in their city or in their country. It should be a duty upon every Shiite person in this world to give back to Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam.
As lovers of the Ahlul Bayt, we all have an inclination to the epitome of love. When we rejoice, when times are hard, whatever stage of life we are in, we all yearn to be in one special place. We all wish to visit the blessed shrine of Imam al-Hussein in the holy city of Karbala. Not all of us have the blessing to visit the shrine of Imam Hussein, but there is still a way to experience the sights and sound of the blessed land of Karbala in the comfort of your own homes.
We call upon you, dear viewers, to support us in our financial costs to help bring the Holy Land of Karbala beaming into your homes. You can support us with a monthly donation of just $50 or £30. We are your gateway to Karbala. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Imam Hussein TV 3.
But from me and the team here at Imam Hussein TV, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Now, a lot goes into producing the shows that you love here on Imam Hussein TV. It may be half an hour for you, but it's hours for us. We have many factors to consider when producing our shows. Time, cost, set design, sourcing speakers and guests. It takes us about an hour to film, 3 hours to edit, 2 hours to render. And you, well, you watch it in 30 to 40 minutes. Hours just for 30 minutes. What is the I Am Husseini show? Well, it's a show that provides you, the dear viewers, a gateway, a window, a pathway, whatever you want to call it, to visit Imam Hussein alayhi salam and Abul Fadl Abbas alayhi salam at the comfort of your own home.
I am a host at Ahkam SOS. It is a show which entails with people sending in the Ahkam questions which me and Sheikh Ali Ma'ash discuss and give them their answers.
My show is Her Thoughts, which is a show featuring a rotating panel of female presenters discussing a range of topics from a female perspective.
Verses of Love aims to be the post-Majlis Majlis. It tries to bring the community together to continue engaging with the Masa'ib of Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam.
I've had the honor of working and directing and producing documentaries for the Imam Hussein TV 3 channel.
So the late night show is essentially it's a talk show. I had guests all the way from self-development experts, media experts, sales directors.
My show, live in London, it needs no introduction, with world-renowned scholar Dr. Sayyid Amar Naqshbani.
Sometimes it's difficult for us to do the research. It takes us sometimes a week, 2 weeks to find answers for certain questions. Sometimes the questions don't even get answered and we have to roll them on to next week. But I guess this is a problem that is actually, you know, a good headache and worth having.
One of the main difficulties which we come across is getting female participants to participate on the show. After the show, when we get the emails coming through from the women in our society and our community, and it really shows us that women relate more to a female speaker.
Among some of the difficulties, I'd say, is the late nights, with a pretty hectic schedule for all the reciters who have probably come from 1 or 2 majalis beforehand. Sometimes you just have this magical moment where the reciter says a line that connects and lets you release all of that emotion, which helps you connect with Abu Abdullah and therefore with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
I filmed these documentaries during COVID. That always stays with me because I think that was a difficulty that I thought I will face, yet I think Imam al-Hussein salamullahi alayhi opened so many doors and made everything so easy for me.
How much can we laugh and joke on an Islamic channel, especially when the channel is associated to Imam Hussein alayhi salam? But the best part of the show is actually, it's the fun part of it. So that's the games.
The best thing about this show, you can actually speak and discuss and actually voice their opinions and questions to Dr. Sayyid Amar Naqshbani.
We've come so far, yet still have so much more to achieve. Support us so that we can support your children in bringing them more knowledge and content, because Imam Hussein TV is your gateway to Karbala. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.
شهر رمضان شهر رمضان شهر رمضان شهر رمضان يا رمضان
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers, and welcome to After Iftar, a show where we are fundraising for Imam Hussein TV, a channel that is propagating the message of the Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam. Now today, first of all, before I begin, I would like to send my condolences to you all on the death anniversary of Lady Khadija alayhi salam. Today we honor Lady Khadija alayhi salam, a lady that the Prophet said that if it wasn't for the wealth of Khadija and the sword of Ali, then the religion of Islam would have never flourished. Today we honor a lady that gave all her wealth towards the religion of Islam, and she sacrificed her wealth, her status, and her reputation within the society to ensure that Islam flourishes. If it wasn't for her, then we would not be sitting here today. If it wasn't for her, then Islam wouldn't be where it was today. So today, in honor of her, inshallah, we present to you this show. Now, as I said, this is a live fundraising show for Imam Hussein TV. So inshallah, we pledge to the audience watching at home to inshallah donate towards this pure message, the message of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, and ensure that this message never dies out. Now, if you want to call into today's show, then the number will be on the screen, inshallah. We would love to hear from you. if you want to call in with words of inspiration, if you want to call in to speak to us, if you want to call in to perhaps tell us a story about Imam Hussein TV, perhaps it's inspired you in a certain way, then please do call in. We would love to hear from you, inshallah. The number is on the screen. It's 0203 515 0199. That's 0203 515 0199. And if you would like to donate, then the number is 079 399 17163. Now, if you are international, please put +44 inshallah before the number. Now, I will come to the packages in just a minute, but let me introduce our guests for today. Today we have with us two very special guests. To my left, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. You have Sister Dua, which is no stranger to our television screen. We've all seen her wonderful work that she has done. And we have Sister Aruj, who has been working very tirelessly behind the scenes, and many of the productions that you see on stage, on your screens, is due to her hard work. So, assalamu alaikum. So today is a live fundraising show. We've all seen the great work that Imam Hussein TV has done, and just to mention the packages are on the screen. So if you want a special ziyarah done in the Holy Shrine in Laylatul Qadr, that is £72. If you want a Ziyarat Ashura sponsorship, that is £110. If you want a sponsored majlis in Karbala, in the Holy Land of Karbala, that is £313. And there is more packages on the screen, inshallah. So please call in. We would love to hear your voice. Please do donate, and let's keep the message of Imam Hussein alayhi salam alive, inshallah. Sister Dua, first coming to you. So, you know, Lady Khadija alayhi salam, she really taught us, you know, the importance of spreading the religion of Islam, ensuring that the religion of Islam flourishes. So especially in this society where there is a lot of corruption, and as mothers we know that there is a lot of corruption that we face, that our children face. What is the importance of ensuring that the message of Islam, or giving towards projects that ensure that the religion of Islam continues?
You know, since today we are in the martyrdom of Lady Khadija alayhi salam, and Lady Khadija alayhi salam, she gave all her wealth to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. And the reason why she gave her wealth to Rasulullah is because at that time, it was a time of famine, a time of poverty, a time where, you know, people did not have jobs and businesses, and, you know, people looked up to Rasulullah as he's the prophet, you know, he's the one who is going to help them. And, you know, Lady Khadija alayhi salam, if she didn't donate all this wealth to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi, Islam would not rise, you know. Ma qama al-Islam illa bisayfi Ali, the sword of Imam Ali, and amwal Khadija, the wealth of Khadija. Now, if we donate to the channel, it's going to help. We're going to not be like Lady Khadija, but we're taking her as a role model, because this channel is doing a lot behind the scenes. I mean, it's doing documentaries, shows in the West, in a time of corruption, in a time where people want to open up a channel and they want to listen to the truth. They want to seek knowledge. They want to know it. But because nowadays we see people, they don't read more, but they want to listen to more. They're on social media more. They're on internet more. They're on television more. They subscribe to, you know, those Netflix and Disney and all those kind of apps just so that they can get themselves busy. And, you know, this is a channel where we're spreading the name of Islam, the name of Ahlul Bayt, the name of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. When you donate, it's keeping this channel going, and you are going to keep Islam for our generations, for our children, for our grandchildren. Because if we don't do that today and this channel closes, what's going to happen is our children are going to go to other channels. Lady Khadija alayhi salam, whoever enters Islam today, it's because of her. And whoever enters in future, it's all because of her. Because she donated all her wealth. She gave all her wealth to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. And she didn't give, you know, a small amount. She gave a lot. She had a lot. And when she married Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, she had a castle. She had a kingdom. She was Amirat al-Umara, the princesses. You know, she was a very beautiful lady and a very wise lady. And she was wise because she also, you know, presented herself to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. At the time that she was the first person who believed in him. And this channel is helping us, you know, mention her and teach our children and our, you know, generation after generation, and bring her name so that this message would not die. And this is one of the reasons that if we donate to this channel, it's like being like Lady Khadija alayhi salam, giving to Islam. And whoever, if we pay and give, inshallah, today and donate, in future, whoever opens up this channel and learns something and takes something from that channel, whether it's about Imam Hussein, whether it's about Fatima al-Zahra, whether it's about Lady Khadija or any of the Ma'soomeen, or even listen to Quran, it's going to be because of you.
Absolutely, definitely, very true. And Sister Aruj, with the inspiration of Lady Khadija alayhi salam, we know that we are in a recession, and many people may hesitate to donate because we are in a recession. What would you say?
Like Sister Dua just mentioned, Lady Khadija, she gave absolutely everything, and so much so that she didn't have anything left because she gave everything in the name of Islam. So when you do that and when you give it in the name of Allah, you know that reward is much greater. And if you donate to the channel, you know that the reward is much, much greater. It's for your future generations, it's for the youth, and for those that don't have Hussainiyas, don't have the luxury of going to about 5 to 10 different lectures or majalis. We provide that. So when you give to the channel, it's nothing in waste. You will get rewarded much more.
Absolutely, that's very beautiful. I believe we do have a call on the line, so let's take that call. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, we'll come back to that call. So just a reminder, audience at home, if you would like to call in, the number is on the screen. You can see it in big letters right in the middle, big numbers, shall I say, right in the middle, inshallah. So we'd love to hear from you. Going back to Lady Khadija alayhi salam, so I want to come to the female participation, because many times I feel like, as much as Prophet Muhammad brought rights to Islam, as much as we know when we read about Islamic history that the foundation of Islam in many cases was built on women. If it wasn't for Lady Khadija, Islam wouldn't have spread. If it wasn't for Sayyidina Zainab I think the phone calls come back. Let's go to the back and we'll come back. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Ramadan Mubarak.
Assalamu alaikum, Ramadan Mubarak, inshallah. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Alhamdulillah, my name is Ali Sierras. I'm calling from the United States in the state of Vermont.
MashaAllah, welcome, MashaAllah. How's Ramadan been going so far?
Oh, Alhamdulillah, it's been well. It's been going good, MashaAllah, no problems. And been getting a lot of blessings from your guys' program. I'm just so grateful that Imam Hussein TV it exists, and it's been so beneficial to me, especially being the only Muslim in the area that I'm at.
MashaAllah.
I get a lot of blessings from you guys. I'm so grateful that you guys exist.
MashaAllah, that is beautiful words to hear. How has Imam Hussein TV impacted your life, and why is it important for people to ensure that the channel continues?
Honestly, the information that comes from it, the programs, the entertainment, all of that is great, and but most importantly, it's for places like where I'm at, that there is no masjids, there are no Hussaniyas. The only contact that we might have with the teachings of the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam is from a program that exists like yours.
Wow.
Might be the only thing that we get is from being in contact with you guys, mashallah.
MashaAllah. That's very powerful words to hear, and especially when we interact with the audience, it's amazing to hear everyone's story. Tell us more about your story. I'm really, the small information that you've given, I'm very intrigued to know more about your story.
Well, alhamdulillah, my story is it's the story of a convert in America. Before I converted to Islam, mashallah, I was a gang member. I was caught up in the street life, doing a lot of wrong. I ended up getting sentenced to prison, where I learned about the life of the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, and I was touched and I was moved, and I ended up getting released, and I was able to gain a lot of inspiration from the teachings and just the programs that you guys offer. Specifically, Imam Hussein TV has been a specific source of inspiration for me, especially.
MashaAllah. You say that the channel has inspired you, but I think it's your stories like yours that inspire us and keep us motivated. Just listening to your story has sent shivers down my spine, mashallah. May Allah bless you, honestly. It's amazing to hear stories like that, mashallah. What would you tell the audience watching at home, before we finish off the phone call, what would you say to anyone watching at home, inshallah, as a final message?
I would say that Imam Hussein TV, it is necessary, it is important, it is such a force for good. And you know, there are Muslims like me all over America, all over places that this might be the only contact we have with the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. So it is just necessary to support, and you know, I'm so grateful that you guys exist.
MashaAllah.
MashaAllah, that is absolutely beautiful. Brother, thank you so much for calling in, and I am certain your phone call has inspired all those watching today. Inshallah, it's like a ripple effect. You inspire others, inshallah. The Ahlul Bayt inspire you, you inspire others, and this ripple effect that we see within the community, may Allah bless you. I honestly, from the bottom of my heart, wish you all the best, inshallah.
Alhamdulillah, thank you guys so much. I love you guys. Fi sabiillah. Ramadan Mubarak. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. MashaAllah.
He just made me like in tears and shiver. From prison, from dhalam, darkness, to Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And I believe Imam Hussein alayhi salam, he chose him. He told him, you're get up from prison and you're going to enter Islam. And I do feel, because I'm going to cry in tears, because it's very important to send the message to the world about Imam Hussein. And
it's very emotional.
It's not only for the Muslims, it's for those who don't know Imam Hussein. And it's our voice in English. Yes, we do in Arabic a lot. But in English, we want the world to know who Imam Hussein is. We want the world to know who Lady Khadija is, who Rasulullah is. And it's our responsibility. I know sometimes I leave my children home. The way I prepare lectures is with tantrums and children crying and cooking and too much responsibilities, but I feel like I can do it in Arabic in public, in local, without anyone knowing. But on television is different. It's like telling the whole world, all you people of this world, this is Hussein, this is Ahlul Bayt, this is the light. I mean, I can educate myself, I can learn myself, I can work on my spirituality, but I feel that's so greedy. There's other people who don't know about, you know, Imam Hussein, don't know about Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. In America, those who've been, you know, with drugs and alcohol, and they don't know the meaning of life, and then suddenly they open the channel of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, and they say, what is this? Why are people crying? Why are people dressing black? And they feel, you know, the soul feels that this is the channel we need, this is what we need. Not a lot of people go to Husseiniat, and you know, this is what, you know, he got me tears in my eyes, because it's just amazing, mashallah.
It is very emotional, and like you said, I think a very important point you said is about we leave our children, and when we you know, it is difficult. People don't understand how difficult it is to be a female speaker. You know, even if I go international, we're constantly thinking about our children at the back of our mind, and you know, and when we hear calls like that, it really shows us that it is a global, Islam is a global message. So we need to ensure that it is a global message. It's not just confined to our mosques and our Husseinis and in our circles. You know, we cannot just spread this message to the converted. We need to reach far and wide. So that's the thing, and what is the importance of really, I think, because we, you know, female speakers as well, because we're talking about Lady Khadija alayhi salam, we're talking about her contributions towards Islam, and as a female speaker yourself, you know, what is the importance of actually getting the female voice out there?
It's very important. It's more than what I thought, because a lot of women, they want a woman figure to learn from. I've had people who tell me, we hear about hijab from men, but I don't want to hear it from men. I want to hear it from women, because you know how we feel. You know, Lady Khadija alayhi salam, this is before the Islam. She was, you know, Quraysh, they were Asyad al-Arab, the masters of the Arabs, and she was their mistress. And they would come to her for wisdom, they'd come to her for knowledge. That was before Islam, and she was a woman. And if it wasn't for her, the Islam wouldn't rise, and Rasulullah needed her. She gave him her home. She had a whole castle. When they got married, she brought Rasulullah and she said to him, Ya Rasulullah, do you see this castle? She had workers in that castle. She had maids in that castle. She had a lot of wealth. She was an entrepreneur. She had businesses. And she said, this is for you. Imam Ali alayhi salam, he needed Lady Fatima. Without Lady Fatima, Islam wouldn't remain. It needed Lady Fatima's broken ribs. It needed her miscarried child. It needed Lady Fatima's role. And she was a woman who went out and she spoke, and she needed to speak. She needed to give that public speak. Imam Hussein alayhi salam did not leave without Lady Zainab alayhi salam. He said to her, come, you're coming with me. And if it wasn't for Zainab alayhi salam, even Islam, you know, it's all women. Beginnings with Lady Khadija, Lady Fatima, Lady Zainab, it wouldn't continue. Why? Because Lady Zainab alayhi salam, she went back to Kufa and Sham and Medina, and she kept speaking of what she saw in Karbala. She was the media. There was no media at that time. So she's the one who, a whole year, she was telling everyone in Medina what happened, until people uprised against Yazid and said to him, what did you do to Hussein? And he was like, get her out from Medina. It was a woman. We do need women like you and all a woman around the world that preach and that speak is very important, because nowadays when media wants to trigger the women, they come to the women, they conquer the women with makeup and the fashion styles, the plastic surgeries. It's all of a sudden that a woman is just, you know, that makeup and that plastic surgeries, that's all they're focusing on. And that's not right, because Islam is all about wisdom. A woman to be wise, educated. Because if we don't stand here as a woman and public and speak and give in the name of Islam, women who are they going to look up to? They're going to look up to what they see on social media, was just all about beauty. I'm not against beauty. I'm not against makeup. I'm not against fashion as well. It's beautiful, but that's all the focus is on. We need to look at Lady Khadija, Lady Zainab alayhi salam, the reason why we're on this earth, you know, the reason why, you know, we're living in this earth is to serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we have been a figure to people. I know a lot of people who I go and read, they mention you as well. And they're like, we learned from Zahra al-Alawin, we learned from you, and we want to be like that. And I'm like, wow, get in. You know, this is the ways, this is how you do it. And this is what we need. If we bring, you know, one woman who wants to be like that, that's good for, because we're going to go. We're not going to live in this earth for a long time.
It needs to continue.
Yes, it needs to continue. So I do believe it's very important.
Beautiful answer. I'm going to go Sister Aruj, but I just want to mention to the audience at home, the packages once again is £72 inshallah for a special ziyarah in the Holy Shrine in during Laylatul Qadr, £110 for Ziyarat Ashura sponsorship, and we have other packages as well on the screen. So £313 for a majlis, a sponsored majlis in the Holy Land of Karbala. My dear viewers watching at home, you have seen the great work that Imam Hussein TV have done, and in recent times they have really tried to produce the best of productions with the Shia voice. We have seen with the Graveyard Show, with the live show with Dr. Sayyid Ammar Naqshwani, and many other shows, with the shows with Dua and Sister Mehdiya. We've seen many shows that Imam Hussein TV have produced, and it cannot be produced without your help. They're saying Shia voice, but I've said that was the first show that I've said. So with the news as well, I believe there's a news show as well that's coming up. So there's so many shows that Imam Hussein TV have been producing, and we have seen the impact that these shows have had on individuals. It's without your help, my dear brothers and sisters, that these shows will continue. Without your help, these shows will not continue. And do you know what? I've been working in television for over 15 years now. Probably 16, 17 years, been working at Shia channels, different Shia channels, and I see firsthand how people have say, we live in a city, we live in a country which is isolated. There is not a Shia community around, there is not a mosque around, and these Islamic channels become our mosque. These Islamic channels become our Husainiyya. These Islamic channels become the only source of information and knowledge that we have. But these, from my experience from working in television channels, it's not cheap to create these programs. If you want to create a good production, it does cost a lot, and without the help of the audience, we will not be able to produce these fantastic shows. So please, my dear brothers and sisters, please do call in, please donate today. With the love of Lady Khadija alayhi salam, if you want to speak to us in the audience, you saw how people's words impact, and how when someone tells us their story, or when someone tells us their experience, it impacts, and you can create that ripple effect within the community. So please do call in, inshallah. We would love to hear from you. Sister Aruj, you have worked at the Imam Hussein TV and you've seen the fantastic work that's being done. And have you seen any personal experience or anything that you would like to share with the audience that really will perhaps motivate them to, or show the importance of donating and continuing on the message of the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam?
So I've been here since September, but since I've been here, we've had the Shia Voice, we've got the news show, we've got documentaries coming up, but all of that requires money and funding. And if you want the best, I always say, if you want the best documentaries, and if you want documentaries that your kids are going to watch and the youth are going to watch, and I always specify youth because they're the future. If you want them to go down this path, then you should donate to this channel, because I can assure you that everything goes to our production. When we try day and night. I mean, everyone saw with Shia Voice. It was a day and night kind of thing, and the team works tirelessly, and it can only be done with people's donations. Other than that, we obviously have your live lectures and 14 Pillars. We've got the Shia Waves news show that just started as well, and that's your first show that with the Shia News.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got your Shia News from all over the world, and again, that can only happen if people support us.
Absolutely. And from your experience, because sometimes, from my experience, lack of finance can create a lot of difficulties within the structure of a channel. So what is some of the difficulties? Has there been understaffed? Do you guys do more than one job as an individual? Give us an insight on what happens behind the screen.
Yes, I'm a producer, but I will be editing. I will be doing everything else behind the scenes. You have Amir Raza, who's also doing absolutely everything, IT, editing, absolutely everything. You have directors that are also producing and doing the research, because sometimes everyone just has to help each other. And also we have great documentary ideas, great show ideas, but again, I mean, I had a few ideas the other day as well, but that can only go ahead if we have the funding. Otherwise you'll have your same kind of shows that every other channel has, and like you said earlier, kids or youth will then go to other channels. And in a time like this, where there's so many ideologies that are getting fed into the children with social media or whatever, then we need to up our game and make sure that that doesn't happen, and tell our kids why we should not go down that path and why we should come to the path of Hussein.
Absolutely, yeah. Sister, I want to talk about this community and the current state of society, in a sense, because we're raising children in this society, and I look at the community and I look at the current state of society, shall I say, and I truly believe that our children are facing so much more challenges than what we faced growing up. It's now with the rise of we didn't have social media back in the day. I never looked at all these women on access to on my phone and influenced me. And there was actually an important point that my mum mentioned. She said, when you were growing up, my parents had 10 daughters, so I'm one of 10 sisters, so it was a lot of daughters to raise. And it's interesting because my parents said that when you were growing up, the only time we feared you may get influenced negatively is when you go out the house. If you go to school, you may get influenced by a billboard or someone talking to you. Now we have these smartphones. The outside influence has entered our home, and our children are getting influenced 24/7 in their bedroom, locked in their bedroom, and this is really impacting a lot of young children. And I do some groups, I do some workshops for young children, and I see the impact it has had on young girls. A lot of girls have low self-esteem, not like what we had. So as a mother, as raising your children, can you talk more about the kind of the negative impact that we're facing in society, and how important it is to have channels like these and media outlets that are broadcasting and putting the image of the correct Islam, especially with, I think, female portrayal, because now it's all about the physical.
Yes.
And it's all about how you look, and then we have, a lot of people don't aspire to wear the hijab or the abaya. So can you talk to us more about society and child upbringing?
Yeah, it's been difficult. I've seen it right now myself, because I got kids and I realized that, wow, it's so hard. you know, how you said, when our parents feared when we're out the house, now we're in the house. And there's so much things, like even in cartoons, you find that there's things that you don't want your kids to know about, you don't want your kids to learn about. I do believe that if we can have, you know, a lot of funding so that we can make Islamic cartoons from Imam Hussein TV, because Shia Voice, it really affected a lot of children as well, like my children. When I put Shia Voice and they see kids that their age or younger than them, they look and they're like, we want to go to Shia Voice, we want to read. So I tell them, like, practice so that you can go to Shia Voice. So I think that was the, you know, throughout this whole Imam Hussein TV, that was the best, you know, show that was ever produced, because it's not about music, it's about Latum, it's about Hussein, it's about Quran. There were kids that are very young that were reading Quran. This makes the children love Quran. You know, they want to sit there. They learn from each other. Don't forget, we learn from each other. We pick up triads from each other, characteristics from each other. It happens. You know, when you're around people, you become like them. I believe when I came to London, and my brothers would hear me from Canada, they're like, why are you speaking British? I was like, no, I'm not. And they're like, you don't realize it, that there are some words that you cut them off. And I'm like, wow, I really don't realize it. Like we say shorter and shorter, and one day I was saying shorter and shorter, and I was like, wow, I didn't know that. It's because I'm around, you know, the different accent. So our children as well, when they're around people, little kids who read Quran, they're going to love to read Quran. When they see someone on Shia Voice who's like 10 or 12 reading Quran, they're going to be like, I'm going to practice because I want to go on Shia Voice. So that was the best show that, like, to be honest, that people learn from, little kids. If we can have like a lot of donations for this channel, not just for it to be going, but to bring like cartoons, to bring in, you know, to teach our children through cartoons about like what Imam Hussein's story, Lady Fatima alayhi salam, all these stories, but in cartoons, instead of our kids watching, you know, Netflix or Disney or YouTube. I mean, when I have kids, so I have to sit down with them and watch each like YouTube cartoon with them, and then sometimes I realize they learn from it, and I'm like, no, I don't want that. They either learn the bad attitude, they learn, and I couldn't find a lot of Shia cartoons for our children. So not only, so that's for the kids, little children. Now when you come to youth learn a lot. And through these episodes, through these lectures, it's very important. I did have one girl, and she's from, her father's originally from America, and he was a convert as well, and he lives in Kuwait. And she messaged me once on Instagram, and she was 5 at that time, and she said that she was listening to my lectures, and that was like, it really hit me, like, really, wow, a 5-year-old. So, you know, you can influence a 5-year-old today with a lecture. I never thought I ever would. You can influence your children. You can influence from one being a female lecturer, to from everything that Imam Hussein TV has been, you know, broadcasting. So it's very important, because instead of keeping our kids 24/7 on, you know, other TVs or other YouTube channels or other shows, you know, you open the background of the house, Imam Hussein TV. There's Quran, there's lectures, there's live shows, there's everything.
Absolutely, you know, it's very important. I think one area which is really lacking is child production, children's production, and, you know, so sometimes you see here and there a few being produced, but it's, believe it or not, producing children's cartoons is so expensive. Because we worked on a project recently, and they charge by the minute, and I'm talking about thousands and thousands just for 1 minute. So it is very expensive to produce children's programming, but and I believe, but we need to get there. You know, we still have a long way to go. Alhamdulillah, a lot has been produced, but there's so much more that could be done, and it could safeguard our children. It could safeguard the future of our children. So it's very important. Sister Arooj, mashallah, I was actually surprised, because when I remember working in television back 12 years, and the lack of females that were behind the screen and on the screen was lacking, but mashallah, there's a lot of females behind the screen. Yesterday we came for a show, and they said, you have to come for Iftar, and I said, you know, I can't come for Iftar. I said, no, there's a lot of females there. I came, and there was 5-6 women behind the screen. So what is your experience, you know, about women kind of working in the media and working, you know, you work a lot behind the scenes, but you've met a lot of, mashallah, sisters that are also working behind the screen in Imam Hussein TV and on the screen. What is kind of the experience that you have seen? Give us like an overview of like...
I personally love it. I've always loved being behind the screens and producing that way, but I also think that it's a time when we need women on media, we need respectable women on media that can show our young girls and just females in general that this is female empowerment. You don't, you know what, like we were saying about social media, you don't have to go and do that to show your female empowerment and Western feminism. You can come into the media, in Islamic media, and you can go either front of the camera, behind the camera, and do what you want to do, but in a respectable manner. And again, I mean, especially in this channel, it's been great because it's completely different. I mean, I was a news reporter for a super yacht company before this. It was very different to working in an Islamic channel, but now I get to have my Islamic beliefs as well, because I had to leave that role because of hijab issues. Yeah, so now I get to maintain my hijab and do what I love to do, but again in a respectful manner.
Yeah. And that's beautiful you said that, because this is why I love working in Islamic channels and in an Islamic environment, because you know it is hard to be out there as a female, but at the same time I feel like these environments are so safe. And I always tell people, you know, you're more likely to be approached negatively working outside than you are in Islamic channels. I have received nothing but respect, nothing but honor working in these channels, and it's so beautiful to see, because this is what the hijab is all about. It's about honoring a woman but allowing a woman to be out there, but also as a protection for her. And it's so beautiful to see that how the you know how high a woman can reach when it comes to wisdom and knowledge as well, and propagating this. The religion of Islam does bring honor to an individual. Sister Dua, you know, how can females support the message, as we talked about Lady Khadija supporting the message of Islam? How can females support the message of Islam, both financially and you know, in terms of physically as well?
You know, financially donate, you know, donate to this channel to keep it going. You know, sometimes I believe as women, we spend a lot of things that we don't need. I mean, and these things are not going to last, not in this world, and we're not going to take it to the next world. I mean, we do spend a lot about, you know, clothing, accessories, and sometimes things cost like a lot, and some people just work to buy these things. I mean, you as a woman, instead of just thinking about buying, you know, designer clothing and all these expensive stuff, you know, put your name with Imam Hussein alayhi salam, make an envelope, and, you know, be like, you know, I wanted to buy this £1,000 purse, but I'm not going to do that. Even if she has that money, you know, I'm going to donate it to the channel, and that's going to keep going. And when the channel keeps going, and anyone who benefits from the channel, the woman is going to benefit from it as well in this world and in the akhirah. How Lady Khadija alayhi salam, the narration says Rasulullah told her, Ya Khadija, O Khadija, you donated the money, Inna Allah la yubahi bikil malaika. Allah will be proud. We got a call?
We got a call. I tried to do it discreetly, but Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Wa alaikum assalam. Ramadan Mubarak.
Ramadan Mubarak to you as well.
What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Zaidi.
MashaAllah. What would you like to say to our audience watching today?
I was watching your program, very inspiring program, and I just heard Brother Ali from USA. Amazing story, and his compliments to your channel and what you are doing and how you are reaching to people who we really should be reaching or trying to reach. But the way you are approaching that and spreading the word of Islam, and especially Imam Hussein, there are so many channels who do promote a lot of other things, but your channel reaching to those who we cannot reach otherwise is really inspiring story, and I just wanted to wish you all the best and success to your channel in the work you are doing. I am a pensioner, but I have made a very small donation. Just pray for me that I get more resources and probably keep on supporting your channel. Daughters, you are doing great work.
MashaAllah. That's very, very inspiring words, and I do believe the story of the brother did touch all of our hearts, MashaAllah. Would you like...
It did.
Yeah.
Really, and especially when he mentioned Imam Hussein and the way he mentioned the love he had in his heart was extremely powerful. God bless you and God bless him.
God bless you, MashaAllah. Would you like to would you like to donate anything today?
Sorry?
What would you like to say to everyone that's perhaps on the fence to whether or not they would like to donate to projects like these? What would you say to them?
I would say that yes, as one of the sisters was saying, that it is a session time, it is difficult time. But we all, especially young people I'm talking to, we never think about when we buy a cappuccino and a cake. So really, even that money saved can be donated to causes like these, which will, inshallah, be for our young generation and our generations to come. So whatever you can, doesn't matter how much you can, but we need to support this channel and the work they are doing.
Absolutely. That's very beautiful words, mashallah. Thank you so much for calling in. I'm sure your words will inspire many people that are watching today. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Beautiful call, mashallah. And I do echo his words. That is very powerful, especially when people talk about the message of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. It's very, very powerful to hear that. Sister Aruj, where would you see the channel in 5 years' time?
I hope very successful still, and we come out with more shows like the Shia Voice on that level, because that is one of the largest production that was ever made by Shia, especially in the Shia and media world, but at a very high level, and I think that can only be done with the support of the people.
Beautiful. Sister Al, what about you?
I want to say that hadith that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said to Lady Khadija, because we can all relate to it ourselves if we donate to this channel. That when she donated, this donation didn't just go like this. You know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Prophet says, "Inna Allah la yubahi bikil malaika." Allah will be proud of you in front of the angels, and not, you know, the special angels like Jibreel, Mikael. He would tell the angels, "Look at Lady Khadija. Because of her, my religion is thriving. Look at Lady Khadija." Can you imagine how Allah gave her, you know, He's telling the angels, "Look, Lady Khadija, she gave all her wealth in this world, and look, my religion has been practiced on earth. Inna Allah la yubahi bikil malaika." The angels are gonna, you know, listen to all this a couple of times. The Prophet said that Allah is gonna repeat it and say, "Look at Lady Khadija, she gave in the name of Islam. Islam is rising because of her. Look at Imam Hussein TV channel, that's because of Lady Khadija. Look at those Muslims, it's because of Lady Khadija. Look at the message of Imam Hussein, it's all because of Lady Khadija." And you know, every viewer who donates can have the same thing as that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be like, because you donated to this channel, the message in this West is still going. The message of Imam Hussein, the name of Imam Hussein, the message of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. So it's very important to donate and to look at these ahadith that, you know, we can learn from them, we can take from them, and it's just a donation.
Absolutely. And it's interesting because when we, you know, many people talk about sacrifices in terms of giving a bit away or being tired. For example, many of the people that work behind the scenes being tired, but it's nothing compared to the sacrifices that Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam gave. And it's, you know, they gave their life, they gave their comfort, they gave everything towards the religion of Islam. They lived a life which was very, very, very difficult. When we hear that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was attacked in the streets, had things thrown at him, had accusations against him, Imam Ali ﷺ had accusations against him, and it seems like until today there's this flame that people continue to try to dim. And it's quite interesting because I uploaded a video recently on one of the platforms, and it was about Allah. It wasn't even about Imam Ali, it was about Allah. But I said Imam Ali alayhi salam had said, and the comments were just people attacking Imam Ali, and it was shocking to see. But it's very, very important that there will continuously be people, and this is a message to everyone. When you try to produce programs, or when you try to talk about the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, there will always be people that will try to attack, that will try to silence this message, that will try to do their best to make an individual stop in their way in spreading the message of Islam. But it's very, very important that we continue, and the message of Imam Hussein alayhi salam continues. So thank you so much for everyone that had called in. And thank you to all that have donated as well, and to the brothers that called in. Mashallah, your words have been very, very powerful. We are going to go to a live performance by the winners of Shia Voice, last year's Shia Voice, Bishan and Rizwan. So we're going to be hearing from them, and inshallah we'll be back. So, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
محمد سے محمد تک خدا کا مختصر لشکر محمد سے محمد تک مگر بھاری ہے لاکھوں پر محمد سے محمد تک خدا کا مختصر لشکر محمد سے محمد تک مزہ آ جائے گا مد ہے ابو طالب سنانے کا مزہ آ جائے گا مد ہے ابو طالب سنانے کا ملیں گے قبر کے اندر محمد سے محمد تک خدا کا مختصر لشکر محمد سے محمد تک در خاتون جنت تیری عظمت کبریا جانے در خاتون جنت تیری عظمت کبریا جانے کھڑے ہیں سب جھکائے سر محمد سے محمد تک خدا کا مختصر لشکر محمد سے محمد تک بچایا دین کو ہم نے بچایا ہم کو زینب نے بچایا دین کو ہم نے بچایا ہم کو زینب نے خدا سے کہتے ہیں اکثر محمد سے محمد تک خدا کا مختصر لشکر محمد سے محمد تک مگر بھاری ہے لاکھوں پر محمد سے محمد تک خدا کا مختصر لشکر محمد سے محمد تک صلوات اللہ
Citation, mashallah. We are ending off the show, so final words to the audience, inshallah, before we end off for tonight.
I would just like to say, please donate as much as you can, as little as you can, because each penny literally counts. We try our best to bring the best shows, lectures, documentaries, and we can only do that with your support.
As well as saying, please donate in the name of, Imam al-Mahdi, may Allah hasten his reappearance. And just, that donation is going to keep the message of Islam thriving and, going around to the world, to the people who don't have Husseyniyat, to the people who don't have majalis. We can be greedy and just have our own local majalis, and we don't have this channel, but we need that because this is the sword nowadays. We're having channels that are promoting things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't accept and doesn't like, and things that are haram. This channel is promoting Ahlul Bayt, Imam Hussein alayhi salam. So please donate, if not today, any day, just call in and donate to the channel, or visit the website and please donate.
Absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much, Sister Dua.
You're welcome.
And Sister Aruj, for your presence today, and absolutely amazing, inshallah. And inshallah, we get many more opportunities, inshallah, to work together. I know I saw you in the Shia voice, and we had a very good conversation then, inshallah, and inshallah, many more, inshallah. So thank you very much. And for the audience watching at home, thank you so much for all those that have called in, all those that have donated. Inshallah, it is without your help, this channel would not continue. Without your help, we will not be able to produce this fantastic work. It is with your help that, inshallah, we continue to see fantastic shows produced by the channel. Just before we end off, I would like to remind you all of the packages on the screen. £72 will give you a special ziyarah in the Holy Land in Laylatul Qadr. £110 is a Ziyarat Ashura sponsorship. £313 you can sponsor a Majlis in the Holy Land of Karbala, and then we have packages of £500, £1,000 and £5,000, inshallah. So please do try to call in, inshallah, and help the message of Imam Hussein alayhi salam continue. We are honouring Lady Khadija alayhi salam, we are honouring this great lady, and this great lady ensured that the message of Islam continued, the message of Islam spread and continued, and until her time of death she did not have anything to even cover her body. When at the time of death she had no one surrounding her, she sacrificed her wealth, she sacrificed her status, she sacrificed her reputation within the community, that everyone had left Lady Khadija alayhi salam, but she knew that if she gave towards the message of Islam, if she gave towards the path of Allah, then she will always have Allah on her side. Because even if we do not have the community's support, even if we don't have other people's support, if we have the support of Allah, if we are in the side of Allah, then we will never be alone in this world. And just before I end off, I just want to say that inshallah we take Lady Khadija alayhi salam as an inspiration, not only towards giving towards the religion of Islam, but also in our personal life, and remembering that her support for Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was great. That the Prophet said that she believed in me when no one else believed in me. She accepted Islam when others rejected me, and she helped me and lent me a helping hand when others had turned against me. And Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam also said that it is with the love of Khadija alayhi salam that nourished me. So inshallah we can be that love as a wife, inshallah. We will, inshallah, with the message of Lady Khadija alayhi salam, we can be that support even for our husbands, inshallah. Thank you so much for this, Sister Dua and Sister Aruj, for your participation today. For the audience watching at home, please do not go anywhere. Stay tuned because we have more coming up. We're going off the set, but we have the brothers, inshallah, coming on after us, where they will continue the show of After Iftar. So don't go anywhere, and we'll be back in a few minutes. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
But from me and the team here at Imam Hussein TV, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Now, a lot goes into producing the shows that you love here on Imam Hussein TV. It may be half an hour for you, but it's hours for us. We have many factors to consider when producing our shows. Time, cost, set design, sourcing speakers and guests. It takes us about an hour to film, 3 hours to edit, 2 hours to render, and you watch it in 30 to 40 minutes. Hours just for 30 minutes. What is the I Am Husseini show? Well, it's a show that provides you, the dear viewers, a gateway, a window, a pathway, whatever you want to call it, to visit Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam and Abu al-Fadl Abbas alayhi salam at the comfort of your own home.
I am a host at the Ahkam SOS. It is a show which entails with people sending in the Ahkam questions, which me and Sheikh Ali Ma'ash discuss and give them their answers.
My show is Her Thoughts, which is a show featuring a rotating panel of female presenters discussing a range of topics from a female perspective.
Verses of Love aims to be the post-Majlis Majlis. It tries to bring the community together to continue engaging with the Masa'ib of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam.
I've had the honor of working and directing and producing documentaries for the Imam Hussein TV 3 channel.
So the late night show is essentially it's a talk show. I had guests all the way from self-development experts, media experts, sales directors,
My show, live in London, it needs no introduction, with world-renowned scholar Dr. Sayyid Amar Naqshbani.
Sometimes it's difficult for us to do the research. It takes us sometimes a week, 2 weeks to find answers for certain questions. Sometimes the questions don't even get answered and we have to roll them on to next week. But I guess this is a problem that is actually, a good headache and worth having.
One of the main difficulties which we come across is getting female participants to participate on the show. After the show, when we get the emails coming through from the women in our society, in our community, and it really shows us that women relate more to a female speaker.
Among some of the difficulties, I'd say, is the late nights, with a pretty hectic schedule for all the reciters who have probably come from 1 or 2 majalis beforehand. Sometimes you just have this magical moment where the reciter says a line that connects and lets you release all of that emotion, which helps you connect with Abu Abdullah and therefore with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
I filmed these documentaries during COVID. That always stays with me because I think that was a difficulty that I thought I will face, yet I think Imam Hussein salamullahi alayhi opened so many doors and made everything so easy for me.
How much can we laugh and joke on an Islamic channel, especially when the channel is associated to Imam Hussein alayhi salam. But the best part of the show is actually, it's the fun part of it. So that's the games.
The best thing about this show, you can actually speak and discuss and actually voice their opinions and questions to Dr. Sayyid Amar Naqshbani.
We've come so far, yet still have so much more to achieve. Support us so that we can support your children in bringing them more knowledge and content, because Imam Hussein TV is your gateway to Karbala. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا وحبيب إله العالمين أبا القاسم المصطفى محمد اللهم صل على وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الصادقين الغر الميامين لا سيما بقية الله في الأراضين وحجته على الخلائق أجمعين طاووس أهل الجنة ومهدي هذه الأمة القائم المنتظر المهدي فداه أرواح العالمين. أما بعد, my respected elders, my dearest youngers, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Haj Haidar Al-Qazzaz. It is an absolute honor to host the next hour with you live at Imam Hussein TV, where we have been given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala an absolutely amazing opportunity. As you know from our last segment, brothers and sisters, we are commemorating the martyrdom of our dear lady Khadija alayhi salam, one of the 4 ladies of light, the ladies of heaven, alongside her daughter Fatima al-Zahra alayhi salam, of course, as Sayyidah Maryam and as Sayyidah Asiya. And of course, Sayyidah Khadija is known for her generosity. Today, brothers and sisters, you have an opportunity in her name. Sayyidah Khadija propagated the message of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Of course, the same message of Rasulullah is the same of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. The message of Imam Hussein alayhi salam is propagated daily through this channel, Imam Hussein TV, your gateway to Karbala. So, before we welcome our guests, and I'm very honored to have you all, inshallah, and we'll welcome you very, very shortly. Brothers and sisters, on your screen now, you'll be able to see some details of the packages that we need your support with. Yeah, we're going to come on to as to exactly why Imam Hussein TV is such a worthy cause, because I think nowadays there are so many places you could potentially invest a sadaqah jariyah in. So we're going to explain today, inshallah, over the next hour or so, why Imam Hussein TV is so important. And we're going to start with the packages. So first and foremost, the first package is for £72. The £72 is for a special ziyarah in the holy shrine in Laylatul Qadr. And amazing, we know already, by the way, that Ziyarat al-Hussein is so, alayhi salam, is so valuable and so important in so many dates. And we're going to come on to later maybe why in particular on Laylatul Qadr is so important. Of course, 72 representing the number of companions of Karbala. We have the package of £110, which is a sponsorship of Ziyarat Ashura played on your channel in the name of your marhum that comes on the TV. So for those of you that have your marhumin, and I know we all do, for those of you that have the marhumin right now, think about this. Once you go to your grave, brothers and sisters, the only thing that keeps giving you thawab is sadaqah jariyah or something that somebody does on your behalf. And what better than Ziyarat al-Hussein alayhi salam. The third package is a 313 in honor of Imam al-Hujjah Ajjallah Ta'ala Farajah al-Sharif, of course, which is a sponsored majlis in Karbala. Genuinely, we hear so much brothers and sisters asking us, how can I be part of a majlis? Yeah, it's not an easy thing to do. MashaAllah, we have some examples of pillars of the community today who are involved in majlises all the time. But we know the average Joe, brothers and sisters at home, it's difficult to get involved in majlis. So 313 takes care of the majlis. We then have 3 packages that Sayyidah Khadija, inshallah, will give you the thawab for. And back today we have £500 that sponsors a ziyarah in the holy shrine and also a flag from the shrine that is sent to you. We have £1,000 for a Karbala live show. So footage directly from the shrine of Imam al-Hussein. And lastly, a sponsorship for a documentary. Again, a beautiful form of sadaqah jariyah. So enough from me at the moment. I'd love to welcome our guests today. So if we can pan to a second camera, we have first and foremost our dear brother Abu Shahbaz Khan. Assalamu alaikum Haji, how are you?
Alhamdulillah.
God bless you. For those of you that don't know, brother Abu Shahbaz is one of those pillars I mentioned in the community, mashallah. I think 30 years or so plus in Haidari Islamic Centre in London. God bless you.
And Idara Ja'fariyah.
And Idara Ja'fariyah, mashallah. We have our dear Sheikh Ibrahim Al-Ansari. Sheikhna, assalamu alaikum.
Al-Hajj, alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. How are you keeping well, inshallah?
Alhamdulillah.
Absolutely honoured to be here alongside Uncle Abu Shahbaz and alongside Brother Aqil.
The honor is all ours, Sheikhna. And for those that don't know Sheikh Ibrahim, I'm sure you do from the channel, but Sheikh, mashallah, is a khadim of the pulpit for Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, which is the biggest commendation anyone can receive, of course.
Alhamdulillah.
And in fact, in a little bit, he also has a majlis for Sayyidah Khadija, and mashallah, yesterday, you also had a majlis for Sayyidah Khadija.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, that's a blessing. Jazakumullah khair.
And last but by no means least, is our Hajj Aqil Ali Dina. Assalamu alaikum Haji.
Assalamu wa rahmatullah.
How are you, my dear brother?
I'm good, bro. I'm good.
Alhamdulillah. Very well, very well. I've had the honor of traveling to the holy shrines of Imam al-Hussein with Hajj Aqil, and again, a prominent member of the community, years and years, decades of community service, mashallah, and I know that stretches across the whole family, whether it be in London, all the way to Switzerland as well, so this is an international affair, mashallah. So, brothers and sisters, thank you very much, our dear brother. So, brothers and sisters, inshallah, we're going to start, and I was thinking about this today, brothers, what is the best place to start? We're commemorating one of the greatest women in our history, in our Islamic history. And of course we know that without the financial contribution of Sayyidah Khadija, that Islam would not have stretched to essentially to us, if we really think about it, to the times of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam and the rest of the Imams to where we are today. And she was pivotal in the growth of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam's message. So, Sheikhna, I would love to start with, for the moment, something quite direct and straight to the point. Why is it important, using Sayyidah Khadija alayhi salam as a parallel, why is it important to support the religion financially?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Just straight to the point, I'll mention a narration of a person, a businessman who came to Mecca one day. When he came, he saw Al-Abbas, the uncle of the Prophet. He saw a person standing by the Kaaba and praying. Then he saw a young man coming behind him and he started praying behind him. Suddenly he saw a woman coming and she stood behind the two men and she started praying as well. He asked Al-Abbas, what are these people doing? And why are they moving in this manner, prostrating, going for ruku', going for sujood. He said, this is Muhammad, my nephew. And this is Ali, my nephew. And this is Khadija, my nephew's wife. And Muhammad claims a religion of La ilaha illallah, and that he was a messenger sent. And Khadija and Ali are the only two followers of this religion. Now, how many followers are there? Those followers are all due to that statement by Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam when he said, "Ma qama al-Islam illa bi amwali Khadija wa sayf Ali ibn Abi Talib." Those were the two people who were praying behind him.
The wealth of Khadija and
the wealth of Khadija and the sword of Ali is what caused 2 billion Muslims today.
Beautiful, beautiful. Brothers and sisters, just as a reminder before we go on to our next question, you can see there's a QR code on your screen that will take you directly to one of our donation packages. You can make your choice to our website. You of course can dial in directly. We want to receive your calls. The numbers are in the bottom of your screen now. You can hit us up on WhatsApp. It's 4479 399 17163, or the landline number is 0044 203 515 0199. So, going to our brother Abu Shahbaz, thinking about the work you've done with the community, and just to ask the question, where do you draw parallels of supporting the community and what you've realized? Because I know, of course, you're a follower and supporter of Imam Hussein TV as well. So tell us a little bit about, I guess, what type of role you think Imam Hussein TV has for the community.
Okay, so when I was growing up, we had no media. If I wanted to see something about Islam, it wasn't that easy for me. Now I'm at home, I learn from the TV channel, I gain knowledge, I got majalises, there's du'as. In fact, our azan is now based on what happens on Imam Hussein TV Live, and that's when we open our fast. And this is knowledge in your house. You normally travel to the masjid. Sometimes you're tired, it's cold, we live, we're working, etc. But here you can sit at home at any time of the day, because now you've got the medium of YouTube. Of course, you can go and select particular videos, particular channels, particular shows and lectures, and you can gain knowledge constantly all the time. And this is what a channel does. Today we've seen fundraising for the poor, but if this channel wasn't here,
they couldn't fundraise for
how could they fundraise for the poor? Those poor people, you may think to yourself, oh, no, I want to give the money to the orphan, or I want to give the money to the widow, or I want to give money to people who are hungry and in sad situations. But you're only able to do that because this channel is on your screen saying, give us money to do this. If this channel wasn't there,
it's the foundation.
So
that
the foundation,
gives you the
like the Sheikh said, that foundation originally is where we have 2 billion Muslims today. If you want to eradicate poverty, then you need channels like this to be able to raise that money, to be able to eradicate poverty, to help people to get their sawab.
Just on one point as well, because we were speaking earlier, I know, mashallah, you have children. I think you have 4, you mentioned.
Alhamdulillah.
Mashallah. Inshallah, Allah gives you more and gives them a long
grandchildren,
life as well. Inshallah. So just thinking about, I guess, specifically the role that the channel and the atmosphere a Shia channel on TV creates in the home for children. How important do you think that is?
It is absolutely astounding. Look, we're growing up in a world where everybody knows lots of things are being thrown at us from all different angles. And we know the dangers of these things. But children at a young age, they have a very live mind. They're going to school, they're being told things. They need something to come back to. Back in the day, if you were on TV, people would be putting on silly stuff, music channels, whatever, because you need something to pass your time sometimes. And Shaitan, he's brilliant at making you say, oh, let me look at MTV, But alhamdulillah, with the birth of these channels, what's happened with my children is, alhamdulillah, none of my children listen to music at all. And it's channels like this because it regularly tells them the dangers of hellfire, of transgress against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, of, let's look at it this way. We all go to Majlis in Muharram, we all love Imam Hussein alayhi salam dearly. And we cry, and we mourn, and we remember him. And we say, we give our oath, we say, if we were there, we would have done this, we would have given our life. But then, as young people, 3, 4 days, 5 days later on, you're in your friend's car, you're listening to music, you're doing what Yazid did. And these channels stop your children ending up in those situations.
Absolutely.
And very, very important.
Ahsant, Hajj. Going to Hajj Aqil. Hajj Aqil, I know of course you play a massive role in the community as well, supporting local mosques in South London. If I'm not mistaken, it seems like South London's another part of the world sometimes versus normal side of London. But Hajj, just thinking about, I guess, the gap that Imam Hussein TV can fill. Two parts of the question really. Number one, what is the gap that you think? Number two, why is it a worthy cause to invest in? I'm talking about financially because mashallah there are so many brothers and sisters that invest their time, that invest their knowledge, their skills, their editing. Mashallah, the team outside is phenomenal. But why is it a worthy cause? Number one, what gap? Number two, why is it a worthy cause to invest in financially, Hajj?
Yeah. So Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, I think there's a huge gap. And like Abu Shabazz says, it's a huge part for us as adults and also for our future generation. To turn it around a little bit, we're only scratching the surface. We have a lot more work to do. We claim to have the message, the best message of Islam, the best way of life. But in the day and age that we live in, this needs to be marketed. At the end of the day, you need to present this in the right way. We claim to have the best hadiths, the best way of life, health, well-being, happiness, overcome it, but we need to present it in a way at the end of the day. And when I say, what's the gap? The gap is you're competing against the likes of all of the international major news channels at the end of the day, and that's the level that we should be thinking to propagate this religion and this word of truth. But it's not going to be done in a shabby way. It has to be done properly. That comes with good content, that comes with the best of cameras, that comes with the best of research and so on. So that would be the first gap. And in terms of it being a worthy investment, I mean, today we sit here to commemorate, a 7th century CEO, a female entrepreneur, Bibi Khadija, who gave everything to a message that she believed in. We have to live by that message, but we have to contribute to that message, And I think for us, it is an investment that will pay us back in this life, inshallah, and the next as well.
God bless you. God bless you. We're going to, inshallah, our first caller who we have on the line. So if the team can patch the caller through for us. Assalamu alaikum, dear caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling from.
Assalamualaikum, this is Fadil calling from London.
Alaikum assalam, dear brother Fadil from London. Jazakallah. How are you today, my dear brother?
Alhamdulillah, well, how are you guys doing today?
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. God bless you. Thanks for calling in. I'm hoping that you're able to start and hopefully open the floodgates in the name of Sayyidah Khadija. Why have you called in, dear brother Fadil?
Honestly, I'm calling because I've seen the work of Imam Hussein TV firsthand. I've seen the hard work everyone in the channel puts in, the constant hours, the long hours, long days that everyone always puts in. I wanted people to hear it from someone who's seen it firsthand, not just from like a viewer or someone that works here. I'd like to tell everyone that these guys in this channel, they're always working, they're always supporting everything for Imam Hussein. They want people to know, they want to spread the word, they want to spread the stories.
Ahsant, beautiful. And I think how much you, just thinking about the donation package as well, no matter how much, by the way, I was going to say, brothers and sisters, no matter how much you donate to this cause, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, Shaykh, you'll help me, Man alladhi yaqra Allahu qardan hasana. Who is Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, who is willing to give Allah a goodly loan? And the best of people, or best of deities you could potentially give a loan to, the best of people, the Ahlul Bayt, and of course Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our dear brother Fadil. So in terms of a donation, our dear brother, to kick us off, how much would you be donating to the channel tonight?
Inshallah, I'd like to donate £110 tonight.
MashaAllah.
Not much, but as much as we can give and support, and hopefully make a change, help in the effort of spreading the words of Imam Ali and Imam Hussein and
Barakallah bik, Barakallah bik. And I'd like to add something to what you just said as well, and just, if you won't mind, dear brother, just correct you, because you said, I know it's not much. And trust me when I say this, that as a community, to support such a worthy cause, it doesn't need one person to not give a lot, or two, or three. But together, no matter how much you're giving, that then becomes a lot, right? And I think that's the idea. There is no embarrassment in whether it's the 72, the 110, or the 5,000. In the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the eyes of Rasulullah, and Sayyidah Khadija, and Imam Hussein, you are one of the supporters. And if you're one of the supporters, think about the 72. Some killed more than others in the day of Karbala, right? Some were more worthy to battle. But their maqam is the same maqam. God bless you, Habibi. Father, thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you.
We ask for your du'as.
You taking the time to answer my phone call. Thank you.
Absolute pleasure, absolute pleasure. I'd like to mention one point, Sheikhna, talking about the propagating of the message, because we were talking about this earlier. You mentioned a very interesting point, that there globally are 2 billion Muslims, for example. Of course, the majority of them are not Shia. And we know that if you look in our systems, we had a brother call earlier who was in prison, I don't know if you heard or not, who is watching the channel and therefore has taken his shahada and his wilayah to Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam, and has become Shia from the channel.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad.
Which is phenomenal. When I heard it, it literally gave me goosebumps. But we are not as good at propagating our religion, right, in terms of the Shia faith. So first of all, can we talk about the importance of that in Islamic hadith?
In general, we have many hadith that talk about the idea of propagating towards the message of Allah Azza wa Jal. Keeping in mind, of course, the message of Allah is that same message from Adam to our beloved Prophet, and it is the same flag that Amir al-Mu'minin carried up until the Imam of our time. It's all one message, no difference at all. The Sharia might be different, that's a separate story, but the message itself is one. That message, because it continues today in the absence or in the occultation, I should say, of Sahibul Zaman, Ajal Ta'ala Farj Sharif, it is up to us to be the best examples of that. Which is why Imam al-Sadiq alayhi wasalam would say, Kunu du'atan lana. However, بغير ألسنتكم, without using your tongue, بأفعالكم, through your actions. I say you might come and tell me, does that mean that we do not perform da'wah? No. Da'wah in its actual form, it is something vital, it is something important. However, is it for every single individual to hold a microphone or to sit in front of a camera and start performing da'wah? Definitely not.
Especially because of, number one, the ability, but secondly, I think is the knowledge. Right?
The knowledge itself, the understanding of hadith. How many times have we seen, and I think this is a very upsetting thing that we have in our community. They read 1-2 narrations from Al-Kafi, they've made an Instagram channel, a YouTube channel, a camera in front of them, and suddenly they have become a mujtahid in extracting laws from Al-Kafi and other books. Of course, this wasn't the religion, which is why you see even with Imam al-Sadiq alayhi afdal salatu wassalam, when he would send his companions, take the example of Mu'min al-Taq. Al-Mu'min al-Taq, what an amazing companion of Imam al-Sadiq he was. He would send him in debates in regards to Imamah, but at certain points he would tell him, this is not the debate for you. You should not debate with this specific individual. The Imam knows best. Of course, the Imam is not present at the moment for him to directly tell us where to talk and where not to talk. However, one way in which we can do it through our actions, of course, through our akhlaq, through the way that we act on the street, through the way we act at workplaces, at schools, wherever we are, we show that we are the best examples of how a human should be, such that when they look at us, and they see suddenly Haj Haidar, Abu Shahbaz, Ibrahim, Brother Aqil, they're all acting in the same way. It seems as if they're following something similar. And suddenly they see these are Shi'as of Ali ibn Abi Talib. This itself is a way to perform da'wah. Another way to perform da'wah through your actions without talking is by helping those who are performing da'wah and supporting them in this manner.
Because this is Ahsan Shaykhna, because one of the things I've always thought is that day to day, if you're at work, if you're looking after your family, if you're attending a majalis, brilliant. Day to day, we know that life is quite difficult. You don't have that much time. So if you're not performing da'wah, then we know that's a tenet of your religion that you should be fulfilling, right?
Ahsan. So then when I see a majlis that is struggling and they are calling for donations, I help them. When I see a channel that is struggling and calling for donations, I help them. But of course, I must also do my due diligence in knowing that that person or that community or that channel or whatever it may be that I'm donating to, these are people who are propagating the true message of Ahlul Bayt alayhim afdalu salatu wassalam. So inshallah, this is something that we can actually think about. And actually, I just want to mention one thing. I'm sorry to take your time. But in the idea of the one who gives Allah a good loan. You see, when you give a loan, what happens? Usually there's a return. You might ask me, when I give a donation, where is the return? Lady Khadija is a prime example. Khadija gave all of her wealth. When we say all of her wealth, it's not like she had a stack of money and she was like, no. Whatever she had in her possession, all of it, whatever she had in her possession, she gave to Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Where was the repayment? The repayment was when the Rasul was preparing her janazah. Upon preparing the janazah of Lady Khadija, wanting to bury her, he wrapped her in his shirt firstly, which is part of her will. After he wrapped her in his shirt, he tried to prepare a kafan. When he was preparing the kafan, Jibreel would come down. He said to him, Ya Rasulullah, Allah sends you his salams. And he says to him, to you, Khadija gave everything that she had. And Khadija helped the cause of this religion. And as a repayment, her kafan is from heaven.
Assalamu alaikum, ya Aba Abdullah.
So Jibreel would bring a kafan from heaven as a repayment for her sacrifice. What greater is that, to be shrouded in such a kafan? Only then, when she was shrouded in that kafan from heaven, she was buried. Was that enough of a repayment? No. When Fatima Zahra asks Rasulullah, where is my mother? He looks up and he says to her, Ya Fatima, your mother is in a house of gold between Asiya and Maryam.
Abu Shahbaz, thinking about the parallel there of Sayyidah Khadija alayhi salam, thinking about Imam Hussein alayhi salam, it wasn't just wealth that he gave. When he gave his infant, when he gave his children.
What Sheikh said, the Honourable Sheikh said, I'd go even further to say that one of the payments that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave her was the mother of the 11 Imams. She was given a daughter. No one is equivalent of Sayyidah Fatima from women. And that is a gift. That is something very, very special that was given to Sayyidah Khadija. When we look at Sayyidah Khadija, one of the saddest things that I find in Islam, forget Shiaism, in Islam, this is a woman that the Prophet loved the most. While he was married to her, he never married another woman. This was his true love. I've heard from lecturers such as you that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, when he used to go home, he would never go empty-handed to the house of Sayyidah Khadija. No other wife can claim that, even if it was a petal or a date. That was his love for. We don't do that. We can say we love our wives. We just go home. But this is the respect that he gave to this particular woman. Yet whenever you go, you never hear her name. And it is up to channels like this to propagate that, to give people knowledge, to say to them, listen, this is the mother of, this is really Umm al-Mu'mineen, this is our mother. Absolutely. Nobody else can claim to be a mother. She's the mother of the religion. Like you said, she gave everything, to the extent she was starving in the valleys of Mecca. She was eating grass.
This is one thing, this is one of the things, brothers and sisters, that when we talk about what Sayyidah Khadija gave, of course it's enormous. But we don't talk about the fact that Sayyidah Khadija was also oppressed. Sayyidah Khadija was oppressed, she was driven out of her home. Sayyidah Khadija gave everything she had for the religion of Islam and also was oppressed for it. And there are so many parallels we can talk about. We'll come on to Imam Hussein alayhi salam as well. Brothers and sisters, there are so many of you now, so many of you tuning in, mashallah, on YouTube, over the TV as well. And I think, touching upon what our dear brother Father said earlier, which is a small donation, and the analogy that springs to mind, and it's a bit cheesy, so bear with me on it, but when you think about the fact that one drop of rain coming down, we talk about floodgates and opening floods, one drop of rain alone, brothers and sisters, is insignificant, in all honesty. But subhanAllah, when Allah's creation comes down and the rain continues, it becomes a force. It becomes a flood. Now, metaphorically speaking, that's the support that Imam Hussein TV needs. How many people are watching at home now that take the channel, honestly, hand on heart, how many people take the channel for granted? How many people take the channel for granted? You sit at home, you think, I'm gonna listen to the adhan. I haven't seen the shrine of Imam al-Hussein. Sayyid al-Shuhada, I want to see Karbala. I haven't seen the land of Imam al-Hussein. Let me switch on Imam Hussein TV. It's there. Yom Ashura, Majalis. You want to listen to a maqtal? Imam Hussein TV. Laylat al-Qadr, you want to do a'mal, read Ziyarat Ashura, Imam Hussein TV. You take it for granted. You think about the building on Imam Hussein TV. The fact that when people are being interviewed, the shrine of the Imam is behind you. You take for granted that in the channel, in the building, there's actually a Husayniyya for Majalis. So contributing to the channel is also contributing, as you said, to the poor, is also contributing to Majalis. So for the brothers and sisters at home that are listening, wallahi, even if it's £1, £5, £10, £20, something. Now everyone had futur. If you had futur at home, the average futur will cost you £5, £10. That's all that you need to do in congregation together to make a massive difference. Going to Hajj Aqil, and specifically, before we do actually, just to remind the brothers and sisters, if you've just tuned in, the packages you have the £72 that is a special ziyarah on Laylatul Qadr. You have £110 that sponsors Ziyarat Ashura in the name of your marhumin. We have £313 that is a sponsored majlis in Karbala, £500 for a sponsored ziyarah, £1,000 for a Karbala Live, Shrine of Imam Hussein sponsorship, and the big sadaqah jari we'll come on to later is the sponsorship of a documentary, providing knowledge to the Shia of Imam Hussein as-salam for £5,000. So, going to our dear brother Hajj Aqil, specifically this channel we know is called Imam Hussein TV alayhi salam. Yeah? What do you think propagating this knowledge, the shows that we have, or maybe we'll come on to shows a bit later, but do you think it's also developed the familiarity of the name of Imam Hussein to the Western world? Do you think it's had an effect?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's work to do, but we've got a foundation here that we need to build upon. We know that we've got the message, and the beautiful thing about our faith is that message is alive forever. The Quran is talking to us today. It never ends. The message never, Karbala never dies. Every year that flame comes, right, at the end of the day. And it comes at a right time. Ramadan comes at a right time. It reignites us when we're kind of going a little bit thingy. Boom, we're good to go again. That's the difference between us and maybe other schools of thoughts who are good and praying, but there's no flame because they're not fighting for anything. Obedience, absolutely, which we have to focus on as well, but there has to be a flame in the heart, right? And this helps us rage that flame, right? And spread it, and globally. So we've got this platform. We have the internet. We have, like you say, the world is a different place now at the end of the day. So we have a wider audience from across the globe. So yeah, alhamdulillah,
Absolutely.
That is
Absolutely.
that's what.
Also, one of the points to touch upon,
just
please.
You gave a lovely analogy about a drop of rain, and
Yes.
something came to my mind.
I'll add something.
You talk about a drop of rain, you compare that to a glass of water on an ocean.
Nice, yeah.
And a quick poem came to my mind, and it's about Karbala.
Ya Allah.
And it's a drop of rain speaking. So the drop of rain says, "Oh man, I water your crop and your grain. Oh man, I water your crop and your grain. But inside of me there is a very deep pain, because maybe I am to blame. Why didn't I fall on the lips of Imam Hussein? So I understand that £1 is that crying drop of rain.
Is that a drop?
That crying drop of rain is that £1.
Assalamu alaikum.
And we all have a duty. We all have to contribute at the end of the day. How many ever raindrops you want to put in, but everyone has to have a responsibility towards that. We want to contribute, inshallah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, inshallah, we have a caller now on the line as well. So, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Our dear caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling from.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Sarah and I'm calling from London.
Alaikum assalam, dear sister Sarah. Inshallah, you are well. May Allah accept your deeds and your fast in this holy month. Dear sister Sarah, tell us why you've called in.
So, inshallah, I've called in to make a donation.
MashaAllah. What caused you to want to make a donation, sister? What was it about the channel, maybe what you heard, what you've seen that made you think, right, this is a worthy while to invest some money?
So, currently I'm a student living away from home and I don't have any access to Husseiniyah. So, it's just amazing to have a Husseiniyah at home in my living room.
Beautiful.
And yeah.
God bless you. And inshallah, that love for Imam Hussein, inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala returns your donation tenfold. And this is, by the way, is a fantastic example, because this is why the channel is around. Because you have situations where you're ostracized, when you're alone, right? When you're alone. And I have a great example of my own children. I'm a father who's raising children in the West. And you're put sometimes in a situation where no matter what you do, away from your home, I think somebody mentioned this earlier, away from your home, it's counted. So whether it's beliefs, ideology, whether it's relationships, whether it's music, as you mentioned, the whole idea is that Imam Hussein TV is like a shield, right? So Imam Hussein TV is the one that's going to best. You can do as much as you want in home. Reality is, if you have children, and Sister Sarah is a great example, you're away from your home, from your family, from a physical Husayniyah, so you need a home away from home. You need a virtual Husayniyah.
I'll be honest, Hajj Haidar, that phone call, I don't know, as soon as she said, because I am a student living away from home, so this is like a Husayniyah in my home, for some reason I got goosebumps.
Allah.
Because the first thing that I remembered, because if you want to relate to that, was COVID 40. How did we all feel?
Before we carry on, Sister Sarah, I know you're still on the line. So God bless you for that beautiful point, because it's wanted the brothers to discuss. But I know you wanted to donate, dear sister. Which package would you like to go ahead with?
Inshallah, I'd like to donate £110.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. God bless you. Make sure you tell and let our team know the name of your marhumeen for the Ziyarat Ashura. Let's give our dear sister Sarah salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Thank you so much. I'd also like to thank the Shia Voice team. I attended the audition and it was just such a great initiative, and yeah, thank you for that.
God bless you, dear sister. And don't forget, of course, the numbers represent something. So the 110, of course, is for our chief and commander, Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam, the commander of the faithful, whose shahada is also in this holy month. So inshallah, we ask you to have the tawassul of Amir al-Mu'mineen. For those of you at home who are lovers of Imam Ali, your love should be great enough to donate £110. By the way, we'll go to Hajj Aqil really quickly, because we were talking about different forms of media. We're talking about documentaries, we're talking about YouTube. There's been a program that has kind of taken the Islamic media world and kind of smashed it on his head, right? With the Shia Voice. That has been a revelation. I mean, my children, 10, 8 and 7, sit down glued to the TV for the whole time that it's on, and I wouldn't want them to be glued to anything else, in all honesty, apart from the dhikr of Imam Hussein and the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. What are your thoughts, just really quickly, on why that's been such a breakthrough and important program?
Yeah, alhamdulillah, it's been absolutely amazing. You know, I came 3 times this time. I brought my little, my daughter who's 1 year old to the auditions as well, walking around with her at the back. I wanted them just to get a little bit of feeling. You know, my 5-year-old son, he was tired, he didn't really know, but there was something, we were planting something in the heart that he was seeing. You know, my daughter was looking at it and she was inspired because there was a young girl wearing a hijab reciting. And you know, these are the role models, right? Because everyone is trying to encapsulate the youth, the energy and the youth's attention. Why? For monetary reasons at the end of the day. They want to commercialize everyone so that people are just paying towards their services, right? But this gives us a role model, this gives us an opportunity to showcase our religion, our faith. And the other day someone said to me, it's Shias having fun, right? And I said, yeah, you know, why not? It is, absolutely, you know, and I have to be careful with words, but it did feel almost like a festival. You have to be wary of in terms of who we're commemorating and stuff like that, but there was a joy, there was a love, there was a compassion, there was a togetherness. I was there for one of the semi-finals. I won't ruin it because I know we're still going to be showing it in the next few days. But alhamdulillah, that is one. I was there, it was beautiful, it was powerful. So there is that being there in the present, like we're talking about community, but for those who can't reach here and for our ability to create this content for that, we can look back in many years, and again, it's building a foundation, it's giving us diversity.
Look, a great example is that the winners of last year's show are going to play us out today, dear brother Shan and Rizwan, mashallah. Sheikh, coming on to, which I think is a very serious topic, because we always talk about our awaited Imam al-Mahdi Ajjallahu Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif, and we talk a lot, and we coin the phrase active intidhar a lot. And we talk about preparing for the Imam, right? Whether it's the Shia Voice, whether it's a documentary, whether it's the Shrine of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, what role does supporting an outlet like Imam that propagates the message of the Imam play with something like active intidhar?
It's interesting that you mentioned that, actually, because I think a prime example between active intidhar and passive intidhar is the story of Nabi Allah Yusuf alayhi wa ala nabina wa alihi afdalu salati wa salam, and how one individual can actually affect the faraj, the relief, faraj meaning the relief of the ma'soom. When he was in prison and he would give the explanation of the 2 dreams that the 2 prisoners with him had, he said, one of you will be giving water or giving a drink to your Lord, and the other, you will be killed and you will be crucified. He said, as for you, the one who will be giving that drink to your Lord, for they used to see that the Pharaoh as their Lord. He said, when you go to him, mention my name. So all he had to do was mention the name of Nabi Allah Yusuf. When he went and he truly did that, he forgot to mention the name of Yusuf. Days went and days went and days and days and days and days. Yusuf is where? He's in Ghaiba. In where? In the prisons. His relief, his faraj, was then delayed based on one individual forgetting to do one thing, which is the mentioning of the name. And likewise, it is up to us. We need to mention that name in our hearts. We need to mention that name in our tongues. We need to mention that name in our actions. This is active intidhar. خير أعمال أمتي Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says خير أعمال أمتي انتظار الفرج. The best deed my ummah can do, the best deed my ummah can do is to await relief. Awaiting relief. So surely it is not just sitting on a chair or on a sofa or no, it is about working towards that relief, working towards the faraj of Sahib al-Zaman, Ajal Ta'ala Faraj.
Absolutely, and I think that, as the Shaykh mentioned, there is no better way to be able to wait for the Imam actively and support his message by propagating the message of the Imam. The channel that is named after the grandfather of Imam Hussein TV. Remember, brothers and sisters, the donation packages are on your screen right now. The bank details are there. You can scan the QR code. We know how easy it is to scan a QR code, to pay online. It will take literally 2 minutes. There are different packages starting from £72. There's Apple Pay, Google Pay, every type of PayPal, anything you want. Literally, the team have made it as easy as possible for you to get thawab. And I would love you to do one thing, because someone mentioned the beautiful point that Sayyidah Khadija, her position is lofty because of the support she gave, but also because she is the mother of Sayyidah Zahra alayhi salam. So when you give this donation, if it's 72, if it's 110, if it's 1,000, it doesn't matter. If it's £10, do it in the name to please Sayyidah Fatima. And what will please Sayyidah Fatima will no doubt please her mother. So if you do this to please Sayyidah Fatima, you'll please Sayyidah Khadija, and also Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. By the way, there is no doubt someone watching right now who's looking at this thinking, £5,000, should I not? There is no doubt somebody right now listening to this that can and is able financially. Allah has given him the imkaniya, the capability to give this in the name of Imam al-Hussein. And trust me, the brother or sister that has that opportunity, do not miss out, because you won't regret it. Going to our dear brother Abu Shahbaz, the question I'm thinking about is the role, if we're linking now community, we're linking family, we're linking active intidhar, for the future generations, what role do you think Imam Hussein TV can play?
I think it can prepare them for understanding what religion is about, number one. Number two, God centricity, having a relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Many of us have relationships with kin, friends, but what relationship do we really have with our imams? What relationship do we really have with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Many years ago, someone said to me, what is your relationship with your Holy 12th Imam? And I went home and I really had to ask myself the question of, well, do I just play this dua? Do I just say salam? So I went back to that sheikh and I said, no, you said this to me. How should I create a relationship with my 12th Imam? Because it is not his fault that you can't see him. It is your fault because of your lack of purity. After Fajr, go in your garden, make your cup of coffee, sit on a chair and talk to him. Because there is no one as lonely as our 12th Imam. But if you talk to him, you will be his companion. Someone from your ahl will be his companion. And at the end of the day, to prepare us, I didn't hear this till I was like 30 something years old. Should have heard it when I was 10. If Imam Hussein TV was there, I would have heard something like this at the age of 10.
My son said something to me the other day actually. We were talking about Imam Hussein alayhi salam. It was in the days of Muharram. And he was talking about, we went to a majlis, mashallah, that had a very large attendance. And he asked me about who donated the food and how much that must cost. And I mentioned to him, this is Imam Hussein alayhi salam, people give. He said to me, they need to give more. I said to him, why? He said, Imam Hussein gave everything. And this is the brain of an 8 or a 9-year-old at the time. You've got the example, Haji, of Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas alayhi salam, who everything in his power, and I know as well that I think we've talked about before, because I know, mashallah, you're a writer of poetry as well, and you have a special connection with Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas alayhi salam.
I do. I think in the Indo-Pak community, many people do. One thing I would say about Imam Abbas is we tend to only concentrate on his prowess, his chivalry, how strong he was. But Abu Fadl Abbas, if we really to give him value, was brought up by Imam Ali, was brought up by Imam Hassan, was brought up by Imam Hussein. Find me a man who had 3 teachers who were all Imams. So understand how eloquent Abu Fadl was. The speech he gave from the top of the Kaaba, go and read it. Go and read it. You will understand what giving to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala means. He didn't give to Imam Hussein, he gave to Allah through Imam
And
Hussein.
this is what the opportunity is, brothers and sisters, because Al-Abbas alayhi salam is a perfect example. He is an example that every single brother and sister right now can take, where he gave to Imam al-Hussein, gave to Allah through the vehicle of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. And that's what the channel is. You can make your niyyah to give to Allah in the name of Imam Hussein TV.
And Haider, they say, lead by example. I'm sitting here. Alhamdulillah, I'm blessed. I'll sponsor a documentary.
Ahsant. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So our dear brother Abu Shahbaz has sponsored a documentary, and mashallah, God bless you for that. So let's give him a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
God bless you, Haji. Thank you so much. Going to our dear brother Aqil, who will probably have to sponsor a documentary as well now. Just thinking about that question, because you have the younger children, the next generations. How do you see Imam Hussein TV playing a role in the next generation's lives? Also, and by the way, not just in the Shia community, but in the wider community. What role do you think Imam Hussein TV can play?
Look, I think we have to talk to the next generation in a language that they understand, right? We're not going to understand. This is very tech, it's very social media, it's very futuristic, it's very digital at the end of the day. Yes, inshallah, maybe this generation will still come to the mosque, but they're already programmed, literally programmed for this media. So we really, that is where the relevance is, to create that content for the future. And I like your point about the wider community. So I listened to a lecture the other day, and he says, you guys say that you've got Imam Ali as your leader, right? And he's this and he's the guy. Why are you so normal? He's your leader, he's your role. Why do you look so normal on your street? You look like the next man you go to. He goes, if you really follow his teachings, 10 doors that way, 10 doors that way, we'll say, there's something about this person and this family. All right? And it comes from education. Ali himself says the point of having the knowledge is to act upon it. So we're building the foundations here, is to create this content, is to educate. And it's not just educating Shia, it's not just Muslim, it is society as a general. We have this gift at the end of the day. We have a way of life, a perfect way of life. It's a tool. Everyone's struggling, everyone's looking for purpose and meaning. Islam gives you purpose and meaning. Let us tell you about it.
Absolutely. And so, in summary, Haji, you're mentioning, essentially we are following here the teachings of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam. That's our pathway to Rasulullah. That is our pathway to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Take any of the Imams from the lineage of Sayyidah Fatima and Amir al-Mu'mineen. Think about how the fact Sayyidah Khadija and her name today is the opportunity for you, brothers and sisters. We are very, very honored to be joined once again by our dear brothers, the winners from last year's Shia Voice, our dear brother Shan and Rizwan. And inshallah, as soon as they're done, you'll be back here. So we'll welcome them. بذكر الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
लर्ज़े में सतूने काबा है, लर्ज़े में सतूने काबा है, दुनिया से खदीजा जाती है, लर्ज़े में सतूने काबा है, दुनिया से खदीजा जाती है, लर्ज़े में सतूने काबा है, اسلام کے لب پر نوحہ ہے اسلام کے لب پر نوحہ ہے دنیا سے خدیجہ جاتی ہے لرزے میں ستون کعبہ ہے سونے حجرے سونا آنگن سونے حجرے سونا آنگن ممتا کو تڑپتا ہے بچپن زہرا کو بلا یہ صدمہ ہے زہرا کو بلا یہ صدمہ ہے دنیا سے خدیجہ جاتی ہے لرزے میں ستون کعبہ ہے دنیا سے خدیجہ جاتی ہے لرزے میں ستون کعبہ ہے صدمے سے نبی جا کھوتے ہیں صدمے سے نبی جا کھوتے ہیں دل تھامے علی بھی روتے ہیں دل تھامے علی بھی روتے ہیں ہر سمت قیامت ہے برپا ہر سمت قیامت ہے برپا دنیا سے خدیجہ جاتی ہے لرزے میں ستون کعبہ ہے دنیا سے خدیجہ جاتی ہے لرزے میں ستون کعبہ ہے آئی ہے مصیبت کچھ ایسی آئی ہے مصیبت کچھ ایسی روتے ہیں فرشتے اور قدسی جبریل کے لب پر نالا ہے جبریل کے لب پر نالا ہے دنیا سے خدیجہ جاتی ہے لرزے میں ستون کعبہ ہے دنیا سے خدیجہ جاتی ہے لرزے میں ستون کعبہ ہے صلوات
Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. Many thanks to our dear brother Shannon as well. May Allah bless you. Again, another beautiful product of Imam Hussein TV. MashaAllah, they already were amazing, but they're able to spread their beautiful voice and the madah and the recitation of Imam Hussein and Ahlul Bayt via this lovely channel. Brothers and sisters, we're nearly at the end of our time. Our dear guests are still here. Unfortunately, Sheikh Ibrahim had a majlis to go to, but we are still joined by our dear brothers Al-Hajj Abu Shahbaz and Hajj Aqil as well. Brothers, we want to go to you and give you literally 20 seconds with the camera, just for you to give your final thoughts on why donating to the channel is a worthwhile cause and why it should be done now.
Basically, everyone complains, oh, our brothers are propagating their version of religion more than our version of religion, but if you don't support our version of religion, then how are they going to propagate? Amr bil Ma'ruf, Nahy Anil Munkar. Enjoy the good and forbid the bad. This is what this channel does. And if you don't support them, which is wajib, that is wajib. If you don't support them, they can't do it. They need your support. And through your support, you will be blessed.
Barakallah bik. Thank you, Habibi. Haj Abu Shahbaz. Haj Aqil, over to you.
Brothers and sisters, this is the month of giving. Let's open our hearts and let's give with an open heart to a good cause. We know, join the movement, believe in the movement. You can see the content. It is our aqaid. We're spreading the truth and we want to propagate this, but we cannot do it without your support. All of us need to contribute. So please, please, please support the cause and do what you can. It doesn't have to be grand. Do anything that you can, but make sure you give a little bit, inshallah.
Ahsant, Habibi Haji. God bless you both. Thank you so much for joining us. In summary, brothers and sisters, when you consider this month, you consider the Shahada of Sayyidah Khadija. We have Amir al-Mu'mineen's Shahada coming up. For me, one of the things I always think about, and if you're at home and you think the same thing, then have a listen to this, that we do everything we can for Imam Hussein alayhi salam. In all honesty, Imam Hussein gave everything for us. What we can give in return is always minute. It's always so small in comparison. So whether it's £1 or genuinely 10 million pounds, it wouldn't matter. Because Imam al-Hussein, no matter what you give, you can never repay. But brothers and sisters, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't try, in all honesty. If you are at home now watching this, and you know the amazing work that this group does, literally, whether it's the shrine, the documentaries, the Shia voice, whatever it is, a small donation, as the brothers mentioned, is needed from your side. When you do it in the niyyah of supporting Imam al-Hussein, in the name of Sayyidah Khadija, to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And brothers and sisters, take it from me and the brothers and everyone else at the channel and those who have donated outside the channel, this is something you will categorically not regret, my dear brothers and sisters. Remember that this is your gateway to Karbala. On the Day of Judgment, there's a piece of land that stretches from the earth to the heavens. That piece of land, brothers and sisters, is Bayn al-Haramain in Karbala, al-Muqaddasa. So make sure, my dear brothers and sisters, that you support this gateway to Karbala so it becomes your direct gateway to Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. It's been an honor. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I ask you all to support Imam Hussein TV for the future of your youth, for the future of Shiaism. Every single person's life is dependent on your education, and Imam Hussein TV provides you a free Islamic education.
If you want to have good programs, if you want to have a source to help your community, your children, your families, do not hesitate. This is the month of rewarding. This is the month of istighfar, the month of khayrat.
Imam Hussein is a name that unites us all, and this is the one area where we can put aside our differences and come together. I hope that the viewers at home will help donate to the channel and to build a platform for the future generations.
I stand here before you, my dear brothers and sisters, to invite one and all to donate generously to ensure that the message of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wassalam is kept alive.
Beautiful programs we have. One of that program is Shia Voice. The Shia Voice try to bring up talented from east, from west, from north, from south. But to show this, to make this program, it needs your donation. Your generous donation, please help. Please support Imam Hussein TV.
We need your generous support. With your support, there could be more documentaries. With your support, there could be more programs. With your support, Shia Voice may come to your community. We cannot continue this without your generous donations. In this holy month of Ramadan, a month of charity, a month of giving, a month of generosity, come together, join us on Imam Hussein TV and generously donate as you always have done, so we may continue to provide programs which serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and of course the holy household.
I think it's everyone's dream to work and serve the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. Working with this project allows us to contribute back to the community.
Our main objective is to bring Imam Hussein to every household, or to take people to Karbala.
producers, cameraman and editors all synchronized to capture, inspire and bring you closer to Abu Abdullah.
Working here is an honor and a privilege, yet nothing compared to the sacrifice of Imam Hussein alayhi salam.
Pass on the lantern of Imam Hussein.
Why should you support?
Why should you support?
Why should you support?
Imam Hussein TV is our Husseiniyyah to the world.
It's an open university to learn theology, history, law, Quran, and many more sciences.
Many rely on our channel as they have no access to any Husseiniyas or any mosques.
And they have no access to any community events nor scholars, and they solely rely on our broadcasting.
Children in the West have so many questions to ask about the faith.
We aim to educate youth and reverts in a thoughtful manner and language which is interactive, easily digestible and understood.
Our project is fully crowdfunded. We have no sales, no business, no profits.
If you do not support us, who will?
If you do not open a channel, who will?
And if you do not raise the flag of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, who will?
We have been operating since 2016 and we have brought to you shows like Morning Barakah,
Ahkam SOS,
Her Thoughts
and The Debate Show.
We also have created many documentaries on topics such as the death of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam,
miracles in Arba'een,
non-Shias visiting Karbala,
and most importantly,
we bring you Karbala live.
Karbala live.
Karbala live.
Karbala live. لبيك يا حسين.
So what does Imam Hussein TV mean to me? It's a hard one. I'll be totally honest with you, Imam Hussein TV is my life.
It's been part of my journey to develop myself, to improve my learning and understanding of many subjects that I never knew before.
And also, as a parent, it has